Hi, Alan Shimel, DevOps.com from IBM InterConnect in Las Vegas. Happy to be joined by Venkat from IBM's Enterprise Systems Group, which includes System Z. Venkat, welcome.
Thank you, Alan.
And Venkat, within the Enterprise Group, you actually work on the DevOps team, am I correct?
Correct.
That would be with like Hayden, Lindsay, and those folks.
Exactly.
So why don't you tell our audience a little bit, what about you do in the group and what you guys are working on?
We are actually part of the enterprise modernization or enterprise DevOps tools, and I am actually responsible for the architecture of some of the critical DevOps tools that we are actually building in the organization, like Rational Developer for System Z, and also a new offering which is actually aimed at taking DevOps to the next level called IBM Application Delivery Intelligence.
Wow, I'm always interested in taking DevOps to the next level. Was that something that was announced here at InterConnect?
We actually announced it a week before InterConnect, but we have been talking a lot about it here and getting a lot of traction and a lot of interest.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what exactly this next gen tool is, what it does?
So one of the critical things, when we're talking about DevOps is people want to know how good or bad, are their adoption processes are, when we talk about DevOps. So as they go through this life cycle and start adopting the set of best practices, there is a ton of data that is actually available, right? How good is my testing? How can I, be it automated or manual, right? How can I optimize my testing so that I can really do shift left in an efficient way and have still the same quality, right? How do I actually bridge to the ops side of the world and say, how are the applications are running in my production environment? What are the performance characteristics? How are they trending? So this kind of information is actually, or the insights from that data is what is lacking. As we see more and more customers as they transition from understanding DevOps to practicing DevOps, they're running into these set of challenges and set of questions. That is what ADI or IBM Application Delivery Intelligence is aimed at addressing.
Excellent.
So one of the key aspects that we are focusing on, I mean, the whole principle of ADI, I'm stealing Hayden's terms here, is what is your biggest waste? And when we actually talk to customers, one of the key things that they highlight is test is our bottleneck. Because lack of understanding of what my existing test suites are, how effective they are, what to run for a given set of change. Do I run all 5,000 or do I run in these five, right? Lack of that insight is actually hampering their ability to move faster and meet the current needs of delivering software faster. So ADI is looking at the first use case of saying you have these test cases, automated or manual, you run those test cases, gather coverage data. Coverage data is a measure of how effective my test cases are. ADI is going to consume that data and tell you, what are the set of test cases that are related to a specific application. So when that program changes, instead of running your 5,000 test case bucket, you can run the 5 or 10, whatever the tool actually suggests, based on the coverage data.
So Venkat, that seems almost like a lean, if you will, type of theory of how do you do testing.
Exactly.
Right? Let's not test what we don't have. Let's test what we need to.
Yep.
Right, and therefore kill the down cycles as a result. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the core is what is the waste and how can we eliminate that waste? And if you eliminate the waste, by default, you are actually doing things in a lean and agile fashion, which is what we want to actually help organizations move towards. And thus, we're calling it like cognitive DevOps. We actually want to get to the point of saying, hey, you have data, give us the data, we'll give you the insights.
Absolutely. So you hear it InterConnect. Any other announcements or news from the group?
There are a lot of interesting things that we have announced here at InterConnect, including a new platform called Application Delivery Foundation, or ADF, for System Z. We have actually talked about the Automatic Binary Optimizer, ABO, for optimizing your COBOL applications. And there are a lot of other interesting things that are actually going on in terms of Bluemix, the actual Z as a service is one thing that we actually talked about, kind of introducing the fact that Z is as relevant in the cloud as any other thing that you can imagine.
Excellent. Well, Venkat, one thing I've learned in now, working with DevOps.com is 2 years old this coming month, and we worked a lot with IBM and a lot with the System Z group. Is you guys are always doing new stuff and DevOps stuff, right? To continue merging and managing people who have to have both systems of record and systems of engagement, make them work together. And for those people who think, oh, we're going to replace the mainframe with the cloud, that's not happening.
It's not gonna
But
happen.
that doesn't mean mainframes can't work with today's tool sets.
That's exactly the message, and that's exactly what we want to actually convey is anything that you know and talk about in the distributed world is as applicable as anything else in the mainframe world. And the application structure is always not just your mainframe pieces or your mobile pieces, but it's the
Exactly.
end-to-end stuff and how these things come together.
Excellent. Well, Venkat, thank you very much for joining us today here with our DevOps.com audience. And continued success and good luck with the group. And we look forward to hearing more innovation from the System Z and Enterprise group at IBM.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. This is Alan Shimel for DevOps.com.